How to propagate aquatic plants. Hi, some of you asked me how to propagate aquatic. Today go to the farm. I will guide all of you. This is my farm. And I'd also like to say that this video is quite long. About 10 minutes. So if any of you, we want to see enough of this video on YouTube, because TikTok is only 4, the maximum is 3 minutes. You can go to YouTube and search Aquascaping amazing channel. I have detailed instructions here. This is my cover. Here's a tub. It's going to plant a tree, guys. Turn off the water to make it quiet. It's here. A tank like this I use is glass. Here, let me turn the camera away. Here's glass is built in to become a tank like this. And install the glass outside. The purpose of the glass. There are 2 different types of tank. A tank like this. It's a cement lake. It's all made of cement. And a kind of lake like this is built. And open both sides to install glass. Why do we have a lake like this? And that kind of cement tank. The purpose of this is, let the light shine on the side. Come on, guys. Some special kind of a tree. It needs a lot of light that it shines around to let it create space for leaves to create that ultimate beauty. I will use these types, and especially the ones that need strong light. It's like a Rhodala macrandra red, for example. Like a Rhodala macrandra red tree here, its light is red and it needs a lot of strong light. I use a tank like this. What about being here? You guys ask what is underneath this background. Then it's land. Then you guys, let's mix it with ground cow dung. Beneath this gravel, it's soil. Hey guys. So design here, I design. A waterhead is an inlet. Here you see, everywhere is a water pipe, a water pipe, a water pipe. One end supplies water to the tank, one end discharges water from the tank. It's the same as here, one end supplies water to the tank, one end discharges water from the tank. The design is a portable tube to plug up and plug down. The purpose of this is, if we plug this in, the operation is speedy. If we use the valve, it sometimes gets clogged. It's up here. We spread a layer of gravel. The purpose of this is to help avoid the background at the bottom, rise to the surface. In the process, we use it and we plant it. So when we plug it down like this, you can imagine when we plug down a hole like this to plant a tree. It creates a hole. When we pull the tweezers up, this pebble, it will fill that hole. Now, this is a tank. I did gravel, and this is an Unravel tank, guys. That's also using a trowel. It's also normal manual work. Making G's like this. If any of you do it, making G's like this. To gravel our pebble, it's going to be lower than this G of this tile a little bit. So the goal is that when you guys change the water, the gravel, it doesn't flow down the hole. It helps us save more gravel and in the process we use it. Make the most of gravel. This is gravel laying. Like this lake after planting trees. Like this tank, I have also planted it for about 1.5 months. About 1.5 months. After you plant, from the moment it was planted until the time of harvest, it's going to fluctuate in about 2 weeks. You can harvest it. A crop of plants like this. This is a crop that is ready to be harvested. This tree will grow a new tree. And we harvest it in about 1 or 2 batches. The more you harvest, the smaller the tree gets. Because it is harvested for the first time. You're interrupted it for the first time like this. Interrupt it the first time like this. Then the tree will grow out of its armpits. When we cut the top of the tree like this, here's an example where I cut like this. The tree will grow from to the side armpits like this. And if you cut it off again, the tree is gone. Losing the root is like you're trimming a bonsai. Its head became even smaller. It led to our tree becoming smaller and smaller. Of the method of planting, I'm going to break some sample trees here. Let me show you. You can imagine how to do that. There are many tanks here. Long tank like this. My size is 14.76 feet, guys. 14.76 feet, horizontally then. In those areas, it's in there. It is almost 1 meter wide. And here it's about 60 centimeters. Here. Now I'm going to transplant it here for you to see. When you transplant us, put a little water in. The purpose for what to do, so that when transplanting, the tree will look like this. Put the tree down like this. And we pull out the tweezers. If there is water in the gravel, it will sink immediately. And here's another note. My friends, if we plant trees in the tanks, like this, we need to grow from the bottom up. You need to grow from the bottom up. The first reason is, when you plant it, pull out the tweezers and the water will become cloudy. Then you can take one out, a tube like this, to change the water. It's going to be a lot faster because of the dirt. It's faster than what you're planting up here. And wait for the dirty, it's running down here. Right, guys? The second factor is that it helps us save water. Why do you plant at the lowest point? It is the water, this lowest point, that will rise first. So, when you change like this, the water here will overflow. If the water is shallow up here, it won't have any effect. But if you plant trees from top to bottom, the water up here must flow all the way down here. Then you have to flip through it again. The dirt will come down. Then it's ineffective. By planting from the bottom up. Here's a Helena. If you raise fish, you know this type, it's mixed in here. In the past, it was brought back to breed and now it breeds profusely. It's a Helena. It's mixed in here. And now it's all overgrown. Now, if you turn it over from the sewer, it's full of it. Hey guys, sometimes we want to discover a little self-breeding for yourself. I will also guide you here. There is nothing secret about business, right? So what I know, I will show you. So that you can follow, or, in some of your conditions, in areas where it's too far away. If the store is too far away, you can do it this way. But if you do it this way, you can play, it's good. What if you do it for business? You need to have a variety of tanks. This is a lot of tanks, right? And also plants for Paludarium, many. So if you are passionate, we want to do business. There must be many types. And if there are one or two types, it's ineffective. So back to the problem earlier. That's why we need tanks on the side with glass. How is it different here? This is Hygrophila deformis. It doesn't need much light, so I planted a whole cement tank like this. For plants like Hygrophila balsam, here, it need very much light like this. With this leaf texture, let me pick one up. This newly planted one, guys, it was only about a week ago. If the light is uneven or too intense, the leaves won't form their characteristic serrations. It leads to the fact that the tree doesn't get this leaf, which are crucial for this plant's aesthetic appeal, and you plant it and it loses its value. Here, it's a little water wave. You can look at it. Here, take this tree. Make it easy to see. Here. Here's a difference between two types of leaves of the same plant. This is a plant that's already adjusted for light. And this is a plant that hasn't adjusted to this light. The leaves won't form their characteristic serrations. Can you see? It's moving from this leaf to this leaf structure. The leaves must be like this. So you're going to build tanks like this. For this purpose, you adjust the light for it. The plants like trees Limnophila aquatica. If you plant in these cement tanks, the leaves will not have the characteristic serrated shape. The leaves will form characteristic serrations. That's some of the things I'd like to share with you. Breeding techniques. If you have any questions about trees, aquarium or to aquarium fish, scenic creatures, ask the question. I'll give you an answer. Goodbye, dear.